Hello, everyone. Could I ask everyone to take seats, please? Good evening. Can I just run through some administrative matters before the Mayor and the Deputy Mayor come in? They'll shortly be arriving in the chamber, and the formal council meeting will start at 6:30. At the beginning of the meeting, the Mayor's chaplain will be requested to say prayers. If you would prefer not to take part in that element of the proceedings, you are welcome to leave the chamber, then rejoin for the remainder of the meeting. The fire evacuation procedures for tonight's meeting are that there are no fire alarms scheduled for this evening. Therefore, in the event the fire alarm sounds, please evacuate the building immediately. The fire exit is located at the rear of the room. Please go down the stairs and meet in the War Memorial car park. The meetings of council are webcast, and please note that these are being displayed on the web live as soon as the meeting starts. And finally, if you do have mobile phones with you, could I ask you either to switch them off or please put them onto silent. Thank you, and the meeting will begin fairly shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worship from the Mayor.
Oh, thank you. If you please remain standing while my chaplain says prayers. Should anyone wish to leave whilst prayers are being said, please do so now. Thank you.
Heavenly Father, we give thanks for a year of service to this chamber and to this borough. We give thanks for the new Mayor, and we ask for your blessing and guidance and mercy and grace for him too. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Please be all right, thank you. Right, can I ask, are there any apologies for absence? No? Oh, sorry, Councillor James.
Apologies from Councillor Keith Watts.
Right, thank you. Right, I now call for the nominations for Councillor Paul Frankham. And do we have a proposer?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Right, would you like to speak first?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I speak this evening as a proposer for Councillor Paul Frankham as Mayor of Basingstoke-Dean for the year 2017-18. We have what I think may be a first for Basingstoke, with Paul taking over the mayoralty directly from a family member. So I thought I should check the records. I'm embarrassed to say that I've walked past them many times as I've entered the chamber and didn't even notice they were there. So I took a look. However, as the records go back to 1641, and the lists all mayors and chairs since then, including information relating to the various kings and queens on the throne at the time, I quickly realised it was a job for another day. So some more facts for you. I believe Paul is going to be the youngest mayor that we've had in over 40 years. And as we all know, one of the special qualities of Basingstoke is that people move here from all over the UK and from other parts of the world. And so many of us in this room tonight were not born here. It's worth pointing out that I think I'm right in saying that Paul is going to be the first mayor in the past 30 years or so who was actually born here. He's a local boy. So that's the factual bit. When I was asked to say a few words about Paul, I thought you'd like to know about his interests as well as his council duties. Well, Paul's a collector of different varieties of whisky. In fact, he has, I'm told, at the last count, some 213 bottles. Might only be 212 after tonight, and go even lower after some of the full council meetings. He has a keen interest in ice hockey, is a big fan of the Bisons and likes 10-pin bowling. Paul has been a councillor since 1999, and without doubt his priority is the community. He's held various positions, serving as a school governor and also on the committee of various community associations over the years. I'm sure that many here tonight are aware of the community magazine Popley Matters, but not many will know how it all began. The idea for a community magazine came about around 25 years ago, but in the first 5 years there was only 4 editions produced. So in 1997, a group of residents came up with the idea of Popley Matters, as they were proud of the area they lived in, but unhappy with the negative press that it sometimes received. Paul's the sub-editor of the magazine and a driving force behind it, which is now delivered by a team of volunteers to around 5,500 homes. The current edition is number 183. I hope you all agree it's a remarkable achievement. The magazine is so well received that people actually ring up to complain if it hasn't arrived. It's a fantastic vehicle for promoting an area and keeping residents up to date with what's going on. This is just one example of Paul's work for the community. Many of you will know that one of Paul's particular areas of expertise at the council is in connection with licensing and local legal issues. And he's so well suited to this because of his attention to detail. Out of interest, I decided to look back at some of the old bylaws in place in the borough from about 100 years ago. And there was one that was outlawed, and I quote, "Any person singing or sounding or playing any musical or noisy instrument in any street, thoroughfare or public place within the borough that won't stop if required to do so by any person in charge of a horse." This, I guess, would have been of particular interest to Paul, as one of his early careers involved working for a mobile disco company. Although I don't think they would have ever been asked to turn it all down by anyone on a horse. I don't expect Paul will be recommending the reinstatement of that particular bylaw. And now for a word of warning for all of us as members of this council. With Paul's attention to detail, he also has a keen interest in the Constitution. So for anyone thinking that they'll get away with something during the next year, don't even think about it. And so to finish, Paul is a community person through and through, and I'm sure that the community will come top during this mayoral year, for which I hope you will all join me in wishing him every success. Thank you.
And the seconder, please.
Sorry.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. It is with pleasure that I second the nomination of Councillor Paul Frankham to the office of Mayor for the coming year. Paul has done a fantastic and very busy job of Deputy Mayor over the past year. Along with his brother Tony, he has supported his mother not only deputising but, as always, chauffeuring when necessary and keeping things well organised with his eye for detail and correct order. As we've already heard from Councillor Mrs Westbrook, we all know Paul so well. He is a man of detail. On the many occasions over the past 10 years that he sat alongside me at licensing subcommittees, I've always been very grateful that he has the ability to hone in like an Exocet missile on all those details that I'm liable to miss. Do the CCTV cameras operate? Are they in the correct position? Are they up to the required standard? You haven't asked if the appellant objects to any member of the committee, and so on. It means I can deal with the bits I'm interested in with confidence that Paul will pick up on everything that I've missed. And we've all noticed that's how it has been as he's worked alongside the retiring mayor. Paul's eye for correct order will stand him in good stead as he keeps all of us in order. Never one to grab the microphone, Paul has had no choice in that over the past year, and it will now only increase now that Paul is the main man, or will be in a minute. However, on the occasions when I've seen him fulfil his deputy mayoral duties, he has been excellent. I think he particularly appreciated the mayor's absence through double booking when Carla the Arts performed at the Haymarket. And it was Paul's duty to escort Miss Basingstoke, our beauty queen, resplendent in a beautiful sari, to the show. Yes, Paul has been excellent over this past year, and he will continue to be so in his well-deserved role as mayor. Thank you.
And that's my third that. Right, let's say, are there all those that are attending in favour? Thank you. Would you accept?
I am pleased to accept.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worship of the Mayor.
Please be seated for the time.
You can all please be seated. Stay standing. Let's walk up to Mum's here.
Councillor Paul Frankham, would you please read aloud the Mayor's Declaration of Acceptance of Office?
I, Paul Frankham, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Basingstoke-Dean Borough Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Basingstoke-Dean Borough Council. Congratulations. Thanks very much. The photographers are gone now when you're shaking your hand. I would now like to call for nominations for my Deputy Mayor for the pursuant year.
Is that phone gone? I'd like to, it gives great pleasure for me to nominate Councillor Sean Keating for Deputy Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. And for a seconder, please.
Mr Mayor, it is with great pleasure that I second Councillor Sean Keating as Deputy Mayor. He explicitly requested that I didn't make a speech, so I just thought I would, in great deference to the great man himself, ask as a point of clarification if we could have a recorded vote.
Do you all agree? Agreed. Councillor Keating, do you accept?
I am pleased to accept.
Okay. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worship of the Mayor.
Do I think you stay? Yeah, I'll stay here. Yeah. I'm just going to stay. Sorry. Okay, please be seated by the bit robed up. Can everyone please be seated?
Councillor Sean Keating, can you please read aloud the Deputy Mayor's declaration of acceptance of office, please?
Thank you. I, Sean Keating, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of Basingstoke-on-Deane Borough Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties it is accordingly to the best of my judgment and ability. I undertake to observe the code as to the conduct which is expected of members of the Basingstoke-on-Deane Borough Council.
Can you please sign in, please?
Thank you. Thank you. It's three. Thank you.
Okay. Next order of business is to ask my Mayoress to present a bunch of flowers to the Deputy Mayoress, Gwen Keating. So if you'd like to go up to... My next honour is to say a few words of thanks to the outgoing Mayor. You've certainly given me a good apprenticeship, so I'm looking forward to this year's Mayor, and I've got your past Mayor's badge, which I'll run over to you. Sorry. I've seen the food. Next, I would like to present a past Mayor's escort badge. Next page. If Tony would like to come up. Thank you, Tony. The outgoing Mayor's collection will go to the Mayor's community chest. I now have the privilege of asking Councillor Jane Frankham to make her retiring Mayor speech.
Thank you. It's been quite an up and down year, as I think most people know. I've had 3 secretaries in the space of the year, all doing of their best Some circumstances, it was quite sad. Debbie lost her dear husband, who was more than just a husband. He was a friend. He helped her, and he was a part of the mayor's job. In the end, Debbie decided she really couldn't return to work and she would retire. So we've kind of soldiered on, and hopefully there's going to be some more permanent arrangements that will make life a lot easier. I was going to do quite a long speech, and then luckily I left it at home. I was told that in living memory the longest was Councillor Keith Chapman, who spoke for approximately half an hour. So, okay. Never one to be outdone. No, I think it's hard, and I've heard other councillors and mayors, past mayors, say, do you know, we've got some really good volunteers. Well, can I tell you, we have got some really good volunteers. The volunteers virtually prop this town up, and I think they prop the whole country up. And I've met, I can't tell you how many volunteers, and I think that's why you all know that I chose what I chose as my mayor's charity. So it's been quite tough getting it going, because you do find that people like the really recognised charities, and they all have sort of people that are fundraisers and that. Well, I didn't have professional fundraisers. I had a panel, and in that panel was a very, very dear friend of mine who sadly passed away very suddenly on January the 1st. I was in ITU with her and the family when she did. It took some time to get over that shock, but I'm lucky I've got a wonderful family. You've seen that. I've got now to sort of do my awards. Do I do them now? Do you know, I'm more nervous tonight than I am. I was nervous when I started as mayor, because I thought, oh my God, it's going to be dreadful. But I will say that in my year, the councillors behaved really well, almost as good as the school children that came in. So, if I can, then I'm going to make my awards. And my first award goes to John, for community, John and Diane Fuller. Both it's in recognition of their commitment to 25 years of music in the community, and in particular their work with the young people and also the production of the Mayor's concerts. Their lives run around music and give opportunities to all ages and all groups and all abilities. They deserve this award, and I think anybody that's come across John and Diane, and they know thousands and thousands of people because of the work they do, every single person has said about their enthusiasm. So I'm really, really proud to be able to ask you to come and to be honoured with the Mayor's Community Award. And I still can't play an instrument, but I can play the fool. Do you want to do? if you hold yours there, and then John, if you hold yours there. Thank you very much. Do you want to come up? Yeah, sure.
You hold your...
That's all right. I'll do that big enough.
big scar that it was really is there. And again, big side. One more squeeze in.
Right. All right. Thank you very much. You really do deserve it. You do deserve it. Thank you. Thank you so much. You've given us a lot of joy. A lot of joy. My third, because I decided that you couldn't give to one without the other, which is why John and Diane, it was separate. We did have a discussion whether I was allowed to do that, but you know me, if I set my mind to something, I get my way. My third award goes to, you know, everywhere you go, people do things, and there's always somebody behind the back that's actually doing the work, that's actually doing all the organising, and doesn't quite get the recognition that I think that they deserve. Well, Susan Hilliard is one of those. Her commitment and work for the Sports Awards are twinning with Germany and the local community in general. She was a talented athlete and moved to Basingstoke 18 years ago. Her early work, she worked with special needs children and realised more needed to be done to make sports for everyone. I met Susan first in Germany, where she was working so hard, and it was a fantastic event, 3 days. Although the work was hard, let's just say, when you go to Germany, if they say we will leave at 1 minute past 1 and arrive at 17 minutes past 2, then you do. I did slow them down a bit, so I did throw them out a little bit, but nevertheless, but Susan and her partner Kev were brilliant with the children, brilliant with the sports. I don't think you quite realise, in Basingstoke we have world champions, we have Paralympics, we have I think it's P3 speedboat world champion, who's a lady, Daisy, lives in Popley, and and she's in a men's sport. I'm very, very proud of our sports people, and I really do hope that we continue, because a lot of them get a lot of help from the sports centre. Some of them wouldn't be able to carry on with their sports if they didn't have the sponsorship that they get. So, as she's the power and the worker and the person that gets things done, please come and accept your award you so really, really well deserve. Yeah.
And again, straight again. One more big smile. Excellent. Perfect. One more for luck. Perfect. Thank you.
Right, thank you. Well done. Another little discussion we had when we came to the award for business. Is it a business? Well, I think the business that I've chosen is in the business of helping the community, not only our local community, but across the world. I knew nothing about Rotary until I became Deputy Mayor, then Mayor. Their work in Basingstoke-on-Deane is amazing. And I don't know if you know, there's another little world record that we hold in Basingstoke. Basingstoke-Deane Rotary, it has the award for the best, I believe, medium-sized Rotary club. And the work they do, if you're there, and I'm sure Anne and Richard will back me up on this, is truly amazing. But it's not only that. Their help for me when I was floundering. And they came, they propped me up, they helped me. They made me see that actually what I was doing wasn't necessarily about the actual money you raise, but what a difference that I'm making in the community. So it's my way of saying back, thank you to you for all you did for me and all you do for Basingstoke. And I think there's about 37 people in the club at the moment. So always looking for more members. And they do wonderful work. I don't know if you've been to the Marine Band. That's a fantastic show. But everywhere you look, Rotary always seem to be there. So please come and be recognised for all the work that you've done. And Alan, who's the present president, will come and accept. But he's not going to carry the award back because it's too heavy. But please come and have the photographs.
You come a little bit closer together. Do not drop it. You okay to put the arm in there? Right. Lovely. Now big smile straight away from me. Lovely. And again straight in here. One more. Big smiles. Okay. Good.
All right, thank you. If we put it over there, then. All right, thank you, see you later. Thank you.
Thanks.
So that's the end of me actually doing the awards. But I want to do a special thank you to my sons. And I'm sure you'll indulge me a little in that. I think everybody knows it has been a bit tough. Not out there with the people who've met the people of Basingstoke and the charities and everything that we went to. Boy, that was amazing. And don't ever let me hear anybody say in Basingstoke there's nothing to do in Basingstoke. Because there certainly is. But thank you, Tony. And thank you, Paul. Tony got promotion in his job, so we had a discussion, and it meant Tony would be 24/7 and needs to be at the end of a phone. It's a very stressful job, quite a well paid one, but nevertheless a very stressful job. So we decided as a family then that Paul would take on the duties, and Paul did, and did wonderful. So he's been part-time escort, deputy mayor, son, carer, counsellor, everything you could think of. And he's done it mostly with a smile. And I wish you really knew the Paul that I know. I know I'm mum and I know I'm biased, but he's one hell of a guy. So thank you, Paul, and thank you, Tony, and thank you, everyone.
Right, next bit of business is to announce my Reverend Chaplain for the year, and no surprises, it's going to be the Reverend Arthur Botham, which I think is another first. It's the first time a chaplain's done it 2 years in a row. Next to the charity. When me and my mum realised, Councillor Jane Frankham, realised we'd be next to each other, we sat and thought, well, we could do 3 charities each, make a little impact, or we could do one for the 2 years and really try and make a difference. Yes, it has been slow, but it's now starting to pick up, so we can see bigger things next year. But it's not just about raising funds to grant out to local charities, and we've done
grants for 7 and got 8 in line.
we've helped 7 local charities, and we've got 8 in line. So all the money raised will go into a pot for local charities to help them out. Just small grants that really make a difference to the little guys that haven't got someone to make fundraise properly. And we're also not about just raising money, it's about time as well, getting more volunteers. We've also been looking for connections, because sometimes people don't know that they're both doing the same job, and we've been able to put them together to hopefully make it a better service. So we will be carrying on in the same vein and hopefully making more money and helping more local charities over the next 12 months. So yeah, the BVA are the charity. They run the pot, and we run the meetings and help us to raise the money and allocate the money to the worthy local causes. Next is to do any announcements. My civic service will be on the 25th of June. That's the only announcement that I've got. And that's the important bit. I'd like everyone to join me in the reception in committee room 1 and 2. There will be no reception line, and I will make my round to speak to everyone individually. And and as I went to Beacott and I prepared the food, I know it's going to be very good.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the worship of the mayor.